quite a few people were wondering why I didn't do this video immediately after the fight. And the answer is very simple. I was just too tired and I wanted to go to bed. That's all it is. But ever since then, people keep asking me, where is the Ricky Burns Relikh post-fight video? We want to hear your thoughts on Ricky Burns versus Adrian Broner, etc. So here it is. First of all, let me deal with the fight. It was a good fight with Relikh. It was a close fight. I had Burns slightly edging it on my scorecard, but the judges' scores were way, way too wide, particularly the 118-110. That really smacks of hometown cooking and corruption, in my opinion. And this is always the danger when a fighter is not signed to a major promoter. They're far more vulnerable, far more susceptible to being on the wrong end of dodgy scoring when they don't have a major promoter behind them. And Ricky Hatton, being Relikh's promoter, is not a major force in British boxing, much less world boxing. He don't have a TV deal, for example. So it's not to say that if you're with a major promoter, you can never get robbed on the cards or never get dodgy scoring. You can, but the more political clout, and I'm talking about political in the boxing sense, the more political clout your promoter has, the less chance there is of dodgy decisions. So that's my view in a nutshell of the Ricky Burns Relikh fight. I thought it was a good fight. It was close. Relikh obviously started strong. Ricky Burns came on in the middle rounds, and then Relikh again finished strong late in the fight. Very close. I had Burns edging it. Now, as far as Ricky Burns versus Adrian Broner, I definitely would not be picking Ricky Burns in that fight. I don't rate Broner particularly highly. He's a good fighter, but nothing special. We've seen him beat several times, obviously, including a couple of unofficial losses, one of them being to Ponce de Leon. And he does struggle with movement, Adrian Broner. In the Paulie Malignaggi fight, he struggled. Ricky Burns can move. He can stick a jab. He is tough. He is experienced. But I don't think he moves quite well enough to throw Adrian Broner off. I think he might be able to make it awkward for Broner for a few rounds, but ultimately I think Broner will be a bit too big and a bit too strong for him. Broner is not great at cutting off the ring. Let's not get it confused. And his footwork in general is not that great, Broner. His hand skills are pretty damn good, but his footwork is not that great. His defensive ability is not that great. And, there's definitely plenty of vulnerabilities there, but I just feel against Ricky Burns, Burns is really going to have to do an Amir Khan impersonation to hope to get the win over Adrian Broner. Move, constant movement, force Broner to constantly have to reset. But here's the thing about Burns. Burns has a good jab, but he's not particularly accurate with his right hand, particularly when he's on the move. He throws his right hand in quite a sloppy fashion a lot of the time. And I just think to beat Adrian Broner in stick and move fashion, you're going to have to be precise on the move. And I don't think Ricky Burns is precise enough. So I'd definitely be taking Broner in the fight. Probably mid to late round stoppage, but it wouldn't shock me if Burns was able to go the distance. Because as I say, Broner is not good at cutting off the ring. He's not an adept pressure fighter at all. And that's probably what he's going to have to try and be against Ricky Burns. If Ricky Burns stands toe-to-toe with Broner, he's going to get knocked out. And Ricky Burns will go toe-to-toe with fighters, as you all know. At certain points in fights, he'll stand and trade. And at those moments, he'll be the most vulnerable against Adrian Broner. Because Broner is dangerous when you're up close to him. He throws uppercuts and hooks and fast combinations and whatnot. You don't want to allow Broner to get off shots like that, particularly when you're not a big puncher. Obviously, Marcus Maidana did some good work against Broner up close, but Marcus Maidana can punch. Ricky Burns can't. So that's my thoughts on Ricky Burns versus Adrian Broner. I'd definitely be heavily favouring Broner in that fight. I think he'd win it. And Ricky Burns has also talked about the possibility of a rematch with Terence Crawford. He's at the stage of his career now where he wants to set himself up for life financially. He did have that drawn out legal battle with Frank Warren that cost him a lot of money. And for a great deal of Ricky Burns' career, even when he was champion, he was actually having to work part-time. So at this point in his career, he's looking for the big fights. Broner being one of them, Terence Crawford being another one of them. And even if he loses to Broner but puts up a good show and makes it competitive, he'll probably still be in line for another big payday. I don't know if he'll be against Crawford, but he'll still be in line for a payday against somebody. So let me know how you felt about the fight. Let me know how you feel about Ricky Burns versus Adrian Broner, and also Ricky Burns versus Terence Crawford. And you know I would certainly pick Crawford to win a rematch over Ricky Burns. You know, you ain't even got to ask me that question. You know how I think that would go. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.